have you ever stopped to wonder why love, the thing we all want more than anything, so often becomes the source of our biggest heartaches? Well, today we're going to pull on a thread that might just unravel everything you thought you knew about your own relationships. Let's dive in. So, let's just start right here with the core idea of this whole explainer. And wow, it's a big one. The idea is that what we often call deep, passionate love is actually something else, something more like a desperate, fearful clinging that we've just dressed up to look holy. It's a challenging thought, I know, so let's really break it down. All right, so the first thing we have to do is draw a really clear line in the sand. We need to separate these two powerful forces that we are always confusing: attachment and love. Now, on the surface, they can look almost identical. They can feel the same. But as we're about to see where they come from, they are worlds apart. I mean, just look at this. This slide really captures the voice of each feeling. Notice how attachment always speaks in demands. It's just a list of things it needs from you. Stay the way I need you. Don't change. Validate me. It's basically a contract. But then you look at love, and it speaks in affirmations. It sees and it accepts. I see you just as you are. One is building a cage, and the other is offering freedom. And this gets right to the very root of it. At its core, attachment is born from fear. It's the terror of losing someone, the terror of being alone. It's a scarcity mindset. Love, on the other hand, is born from acceptance. It gets that change is the only constant in life, and it doesn't try to fight the river. It flows with it. Oh, man. We've all told ourselves this story, right? I'm in so much pain because I just loved them so much. But what if that's not quite right? The source material here suggests that the depth of our suffering isn't actually a measure of our love. It's a measure of our grip. And here is a gut check question for you, especially if you're feeling that sting of loss. Take a second and really ask yourself, do you miss them and their happiness? Or do you miss the version of you that existed when they were around? That part of your identity that was wrapped up in them? It's a brutally honest question, and most of us, well, we try to avoid it. So, how does this even happen? How does something that feels so good and so pure end up decaying into pain? Well, it turns out it's not random. There's a predictable pattern to it, almost like a machine. Just look at this breakdown. It all starts so beautifully, right? A simple, real connection. But then, step 2, the mind kicks in. It starts building an identity around it. I am his partner, or I am her person. And as soon as we have an identity, what do? We start protecting it. And what's the emotion that always comes with protection? Fear. And once fear is in the driver's seat, we try to manage it. That's when control starts. We try to control the other person, control the situation, anything to keep that identity safe. And the final, heartbreaking result, the original love that started the whole thing, it just withers and dies under all that pressure. We love to wrap all this pain up in big, dramatic stories. We say, it's just so complicated. But this view is, well, it's pretty ruthless. It says, no, it's not complicated. It's just what happens when you mistake attachment for love. It's a predictable outcome. Okay, so if attachment is the problem, what's the answer? Does that mean we have to be cold or distant? Nope, not at all. The alternative is a different way of loving, one without all the chains. It's about learning to hold things lightly. I think our biggest fear is that if we hold on lightly, they'll just slip away. But look at this. It flips that idea completely on its head. Holding on tightly, with all the control and the jealousy, that actually guarantees that things will break apart eventually. It just suffocates the connection. It's holding on lightly that creates the space for growth, for truth, for the relationship to actually breathe and survive. And now we gotta be really honest with ourselves about something. Why do we fall into this trap so often? Well, it's because attachment, in the moment, it feels so much more powerful than love. It's a hurricane of emotion, and frankly, it can be pretty intoxicating. Just think about that feeling. Attachment is so intense. It's this all-consuming fire. You get these dizzying highs and these soul-crushing lows. It feels like a huge drama, like you're the star in your own epic movie. But this is the critical mistake we all make. We confuse that emotional intensity with genuine depth. They are not the same thing, not even close. Real depth, that's often found not in the storm, but in the quiet, calm, trusting silence between two people. So, this brings us to what's probably the most important part of this whole conversation. Because if the problem is attachment, the solution isn't going to be found in fixing the other person. The solution, the real work, is found inside ourselves. See, this slide shows that most of us are asking the completely wrong question. We're focused on technique. How can I love them better? What can I do? But the real life-changing work starts when we flip the question inward. How do I become so whole in myself that I stop needing another person to fill my gaps? And that leads to this. And this is a tough pill to swallow. It's the prerequisite. Until you are genuinely, truly okay with being alone, not just tolerating it, but comfortable in your own skin, you can't really love. You're just negotiating. You're trading little bits of affection for a hit of emotional security, just trying to patch up your own emptiness. And this brings us to a word that gets a really bad rap: detachment. We hear detachment and we think cold, aloof, not caring, but that's not it at all. Detachment is the purification of love. It's what's left over after you burn away all the fear, all the control, and that illusion that you can own another person. What's left is just pure, unconditional care. Okay, so the next logical question for all of us is how, right? How do I get there? What's the 5-step program for this kind of enlightened love? And the answer is so simple, but it is not easy. There's no technique to learn, no life hack to download. The path is just observation. It's about becoming a witness to your own mind. It's about watching those chains of attachment get forged in real time. So here's your practice. This is the tool. The very next time you feel that hot flush of jealousy or that cold knot of fear in a relationship, don't react, don't push it down. Just stop for a second and ask yourself with 100% honesty, what exactly am I afraid of losing right now? And if you follow that thread, it will always lead you right back to your ego, to the image of yourself you're so scared of losing. And this whole practice, it rests on one final, unavoidable truth. A truth our culture does everything it can to help us forget. This isn't being negative. This is just reality. Nothing and no one is permanent. Now, that sounds heavy, I know, but here's the paradox. When you truly, deeply accept that reality in your bones, something amazing happens. That frantic need to cling just dissolves. And in its place, this deep, profound appreciation for the present moment just blooms. You start loving people more honestly, more fully, precisely because you know your time together is precious and finite. And that's really the heart of it all. The goal isn't to love less or to build walls to protect yourself from pain. The goal is to purify your love, to get to a place where you can love with your whole open heart, but without that poison of fear. And that, right there, is the only kind of love that doesn't eventually turn into suffering.